From the book of St. Matthew, the fourth chapter, the first verse. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. The first temptation of Jesus, the struggle. We are in the season of Lent. The word Lent is derived from a Latin word meaning full of. Traditionally in Christendom, Lent is observed by prayer, fasting, penitence, and sacrifice. I will speak on penitence and sacrifice for this occasion. Penitence which is more prevalent in Catholicism, is associated with an act to show sorrow for sin. Today, I don't know if we really sorrow for sin. It seems some of us keep repeating the same ones over and over again. I sometimes wonder if God hopes we would commit some new sins so that our request for forgiveness doesn't become a meaningful ritual. Sacrifice. In practice, sometimes it seems sacrifice has been watered down to the degree that it means little more than a small contribution. We traditionally say, what have you given up for Lent? What have you sacrificed for Lent? Sacrifice means the forfeiture of something highly valued for the sake of something considered to have much greater value. A trite example might be, in baseball, the batter may lay down a sacrifice bunt in order to advance the runner into scoring position. Or, if a runner's on third base with less than 2 outs, the batter tries to hit a sacrifice fly to get the runner home. A metaphorical example might be, and perhaps you've heard this story before, of a chicken and a pig passing a restaurant. The chicken said, "Let's go in and make a contribution." To which the pig replied, "You only need to contribute, but I have to make a sacrifice." For a more contemptible and damnable example, the United States government sacrificed the good health of some black men in order to study the effects of untreated syphilis in the Tuskegee experiment. Sacrifice is the forfeiture of something highly valued for something considered to be of greater value. Now, the word sacrifice is derived by combining the Latin words facere, meaning to make, and sacere, meaning sacred. The word, therefore, means to make sacred. When an event becomes sacred, it is transformed by the mysterious anagogic fusion into a realm of the divine, which God uses to remind us of heaven's demands and which God uses for eternal purposes. So, the 4 little girls killed by white domestic terrorists early one Sunday morning in a Birmingham church becomes sacred. Their sacrifice was a great loss, and our memory and celebration of that event must be sustained until heaven's demand that justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream is met. The Christological paradigm we find in Romans, I believe, ought to be applied in this situation, where Paul says, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all." Or again, as John writes, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son." Our salvation was of greater value to God. Therefore, the observation of Lent must be the most serious time of the year for Christians. It is a time we should take stock, to take a self-conscious, soul-searching look at, as Michael Jackson sang, "The Man in the Mirror." Lent should be the most honest time with God, before whom we all must confess, as did Adam, "I am naked." Now, it is easy to recognize that sometimes, because our moral lives and our spiritual lives are pretty decent, we haven't murdered anybody or robbed a bank recently. Some might cheat a little bit on their 1040s and rationalize it because we know the tax structures are not fair, although we better pray that we're not audited. However, there is an equilibrium about our lives that we maintain. We're courteous, kind, respectful. We don't usually go around cussing folk out on a regular basis. We don't usually go out of our way to harm someone. We go to church regularly. We sing and get our praise on, and we thank God from whom all blessings flow. But it is precisely because we all know about who we are and what we are about, which makes Lent even more important, which makes Lent even more serious. Lent is the time we must drill down, and as did the psalmist, who was like us, yet he cried out to God, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." It doesn't matter who or what we think we are, or even whose we know to be. We must be equipped to win the struggle against Satan when he shows up. And you can count on that penny with a hole in it that he is going to show up. Satan is going to make us a visit. Then Jesus, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. The struggle continues next time. God bless you and give you strength for the living of these days.